Ask yourself, have you ever had dreams, especially as a child, that did not come to fruition and then felt frustrated? We all have, including Robert Raymond Riopel, the author of the upcoming book Success Left a Clue. As a child, Robert remembers having big dreams. One day, he was a lawyer, the next, a doctor or a truck driver, or even an astronaut. Anything and everything was possible. However, as he started to get older, life taught him that dreams don't always come true, especially if you do not have the right education or come from the right side of the tracks and are born into a wealthy family. These conditionings and beliefs started to take Robert's life in a direction of playing smaller than he was. Luckily, he had people in his life that were not willing to let him go in that direction. And because of these people believing in him, Robert has made it his mission to assist others in living the life of their dreams as well. It all began when, after some success, Robert and his wife found themselves deep in debt and struggling. Thanks to guidance from total strangers, they started their journey in personal development and quickly turned things around. This led to Robert finding his true passion of learning and teaching others. It is because of his past and newfound passion for teaching that Robert started studying and mentoring from the top success trainers and thinkers in the world to find out what they have in common. And this is where he discovered that success left a clue. With this information, he has gone on to become a highly sought-after, life-transforming trainer that now travels the world and inspiring hundreds and thousands of people each year about success through his clues. It is now time for Robert Raymond Riopel to share this knowledge that he has learned over 15-plus years training with the world through his book, Success Left a Clue. Robert, are you ready to rock this? Right? Oh my gosh, we are so spiced up. Awesome.
Because if you think about it, I was listening to her. She mentioned one of my favorite spices, which is called turmeric. And we make something that started as originally it started as a poor person's leftover type casserole, and it's called the golden casserole, turmeric casserole. You take leftover chicken, you dice it up, you mix it with some rice, you put the turmeric, and there's a sauce that goes on it. Mwah! And listening to her, I was going, man, I'm hungry now. I want to go home and get some turmeric casserole.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. Well, you are now live, Robert, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know you just got finished training an event this past weekend, and we're obviously going to be hearing about all the stuff that you've been doing lately. And before we get there, let's hear more about your journey, how you got to where you are today, some of the challenges that you might have faced so our audience can get to know you better.
Well, it's really good that I'm actually here. I'm calling in from Singapore right now.
Wow.
So I'm in Singapore. It is currently 7 o'clock in the morning. So loving that we were able to schedule it for this timing.
Yes.
And, journey, it's so appropriate I'm here. I'm here to do a 10th anniversary event this weekend.
Wow.
And so the reason I'm so excited about that is because when I started, I was taught as a child, Robert, you can do anything you want. And so that's why, as you read in the introduction, everything I looked at, I could be anything and everything. But as I grew up, things started kind of getting knocked out of me. And a lot of it, what people don't realize is it comes from people wanting to protect you. Don't set your dreams too high because you know what? Our family, we don't have the right education, or that takes rich people to do that, or whatever it is. And one of the couple of things I was taught when I was growing up is if I work hard and I stay loyal to a company, that company's going to take care of me. Now, Chris, you and I both know, and we know in America that now that I've traveled around the world, I've heard it consistently all over. That is not a reality today. No. We've gone from the working for the same company for 40 plus years, the instant MTV society where research shows that every single person will have 5 to 7 totally different careers in their lifetime now.
Wow.
And so, talk about your journey going from starting in a car, going to a train, going to a bus, going to a plane, going to a ship. You're going to be going through different things. But look, I was taught work hard, stay loyal. That's what I did when I entered the workforce. By the time I was 21 years of age, I'd worked for 3 different companies. And of course, I wasn't very happy that I'm working hard, staying loyal, what's going off. I'd get laid off, I'd be unhappy. And that's when I found Domino's Pizza, where I live in Alberta, still live there today. is we go through our oil booms and we go through our oil busts. And right now we're in the middle of an oil bust. A lot of people out of work. Wow. And so at the time when I was laid off from the third company, we were in the middle of an oil bust. So I did what I was taught to do, put on the suit, the tie, the jacket, and I went and looked for that real job. Now there are real jobs out there. So to support my new wife, I decided to do something until I found a real job. And I started delivering pizzas for Domino's Pizza. Wow. Well, fast forward, went from driver to manager. My wife became my assistant manager. From managing 7 days a week, open to close, our franchisee decided he wanted out of Domino's. We wanted in Domino's, which was great. One problem. We didn't have any what, Chris?
Money!
Money. So but one of the things that you know from being with me, sharing the stage with me, and being a student, you know I have a little bit of passion. Yes. Just a little bit. Yes. Not much, just a little bit. And so we ended up learning how do you buy a business with no money of your own. We ended up buying not just the store we were working in. We bought both of the stores my franchisee had for sale. We became franchisees. And guess what? Oh, we had it made.
Yes.
Wrong answer. Because we started making pretty good money. But our blueprint, what you and I have taught people about, it was set for spending even more money than we were making. And so we went deep in debt. And that's when we were introduced to personal development. Yeah. 8 years into being a franchisee, we're over $150,000 in debt, going down very, very quickly. We also were introduced to personal development, and our very first course was the one I love to teach now, the Millionaire Mind Intensive. Yes. We ended up taking the program, learning, integrating, ingraining what we learned, and also 9 months later, we went from being over $150,000 in debt to actually being retired financially free at the age of 32. Wow. And now I know it looks like I'm only 19, so you're wondering how that math works out. I get it. But, stay with me. And for the last 15 years, I've now been traveling around the world. And you're right when you're saying it throughout the day. I've now personally taught well over 300,000 people. Wow. Here in Singapore, I'll have between 1,000 and 2,000 people in the audience for very intense 3 days. So, that's where I'm at. I just came from Dublin, Ireland. I flew yesterday for 15 hours from Ireland to Singapore and I'm going to go Celsius on you here because you got to work with me. All my American friends, right? I went from 6 degrees and drizzly to 35 degrees and humid. So 35 is about 95-ish, almost 100 degrees. So, from one extreme to the other. Yeah. But I feel blessed, especially to have, being able to get the word out to more people. And, before I even continue, look, I want to kind of pause for a moment. Actually, Chris, put your finger up like this. Put your finger up like that. Bend it over, say pause.
Pause.
All right. I've put this program officially on pause for right now because I want to acknowledge you for something. I want to acknowledge you for these marathons. One of the things people say, what is, and I just got goosebumps, dude. I don't know if you can see those, but I'm lit. As the new terminology around today, I'm lit. One of the things that people wonder about success, what does it take to have success? Yeah. And this is one of my clues. You got to freaking do something. And so for you to do what you're doing, 12-hour marathons every single freaking week, that's awesome. This morning when I first stopped, before I went and got a couple hours sleep, I saw you start. You were actually shaved. Now look at how much your hair's grown in the last 8 hours alone already. You're doing this marathon, man. You're helping so many people. The hair's starting to grow mid-show, right? But seriously, because of you doing what you're doing, you don't even know how you're going to impact lives. And it takes tenacity. That's a success principle right there. That's a clue right there. And so I want to acknowledge you for having the willingness. I can't even imagine. Okay, I do 12 hours on stage, but I get some breaks here and there. You to do 12 hours in front of that microphone, my friend, well done. And know that I will do whatever I can to get you any guest you want to put on this show to get this out to more people because people need to hear what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much, man, from the bottom of my heart.
Put your finger back up like that. Say unpause.
Unpause.
Okay, shut back on.
Boom.
Just Dude. Like that.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate that. And let's start diving in to these clues. What clues is success leaving, man? What do we need to know?
Oh, there's probably one of my favorite is one that I learned in India. And I've put these out in my book, and I know we're going to talk about it. This book right here, it's
Ooh.
launching next week in less than a freaking week, man.
Yes.
My first book ever. I'm so excited, and I know your peeps are going to have the link
Yes.
down below to be
Yep.
able to look at it. I put out something called a secret chapter. It didn't make it into the book. I kept it out on purpose. And so I'm now sending it to people so that they can look at it and read. And one of the clues, probably one of my favorite, and it's about how to have success, I learned in India. So my first time in India was just about 2 years ago, and never experienced it, didn't know what to expect. And I went in and I had a blast. I ended up flying into Chennai only a few months after major flooding we're talking water levels that through the city were 3, 4, 5 feet deep. Major. I thought, okay, in kind of a Western mindset, North American mindset, I thought they're going to shut down the city. They're going to probably cancel the event. How can they even think only a couple months later of being able to do the event? So I had set that in my mind. But then no one was canceling it. I even sent an email, hey, how are we doing? They're like, no, we're on. And so I land in, and I'm like, the place is still running. People are going day to day to day to day. And is it dirtier than I'd expect? Yeah. But you know what? All of a sudden I realized, and this is not even the kind of the clue of it, but I realized is why should my perspective mean it's the right perspective? I'm looking around at me and it's dirtier than I'm used to. Okay, fine. Maybe it's not as wealthy as I'm used to for people, their quality of life. Fine. But one of the things I noticed that blew me away is there was more happy people than I see in North America that you would say have everything. And all of a sudden that's what I decided to focus on. I started to focus on what I was enjoying about India. And all of a sudden that's when the magic came alive to that country. So my second trip in, because on the first trip I'd done some great little shopping, bought some things like singing bowls. I don't know if you know, like singing bowls or not. Oh, you should see the collection I have at home, man.
Ooh.
My last trip, I bought this one big ass. Oh, can I say ass?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, don't kick me. Don't kick me off. I know and good on you for having zero tolerance in comments and getting rid of people that are doing that.
Yeah,
good
man.
on you. So I got this one big bowl that's hand pounded, 5 metals into it. When that sucker sings, it resonates. You can feel the resonation. It's amazing. So I want to do some more shopping on my second trip, and my our partners there, they said, look, the day after the event, we're going to send this young lady with you. Her name is Shweta, amazing young lady. She's going to be with you to take you to the different places. We'll have a driver. You tell her what you're looking for. She'll get you to the right places. So we're going along, and I love to get to know people. And I know you're the same way. You want to know what makes people tick. Are they happy? Are they truly enjoying what they're doing? So we're driving along, and at one point I said, so, Shweta, what is it you're doing now? She goes, well, I work in the marketing department with the company. I said, do you enjoy doing what you're doing? She goes, oh, right now I do, which kind of sounded a little odd. And so I said, well, what do you mean right now? Well, she goes, well, right now I love it. She goes, but next year I probably won't be doing it anymore because I'm getting married. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, and being an uneducated Westerner didn't even enter my mind. I asked the next question. I said, where did you meet your husband? What do you think her answer was, Chris?
I've never met him yet.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. She said, I get to meet him on our anniversary or our, not anniversary, engagement party.
Wow.
I'll meet him for the first time at our engagement party, and then I'll meet him again when the day we get married. And all of a sudden it's like, I looked at her, I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound insensitive. She goes, no, it's okay. I said, I'm curious. I love to learn. Do you mind if I ask you some questions about that? She goes, yeah. I said, so arranged marriage. And I hadn't even considered that because, again, I'm going from what I'm normally used to in Western Canada, being Western culture. And I said, so how does this work? I said, do you eventually fall in love? What happens? And she goes, well, there's 2 types of marriages in India. There's arranged marriages and there's love marriages. And she said, I happen to be in arranged marriages. She said, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I said, so how do you prepare yourself for something like that? And she says, well, I go back to something my mother taught me since I was a little girl. She said, honey, in life, choose to be happy. And that one hit me right between the eyes. One-handed clap right there. Boom. Just like that. And I said, okay, expand on that. She goes, well, my mom, it took her and my dad a lot of years to fall in love. But because she chose to be happy, it made life a lot easier. And all of a sudden I got it. Can you imagine coming into a marriage with that resistance, that resentment, like, I don't know you, I don't want to be here, I have no choice. That's going to impact the marriage. But because she's choosing to be happy, and interesting enough, the night before, they decided as the wrap up to the event, they took me to a Bollywood bar.
Ooh.
And I don't know if you've experienced Bollywood dancing.
I haven't.
Oh, dude. For 3 hours straight, there's never a break in the music. You enter when you can, you exit when you just can't move anymore. And they're just like doing the dancing. And I'm just like, the music is pounding at such a high level. And she danced all night long. She was choosing to be happy. So I was amazed that she had energy to take me shopping the next day. And so, when I looked at that, she taught me that lesson. All of a sudden, I went, how is this a generalized life lesson? How can people use this in their life? Everything. Look, if your economy sucks, choose to be happy and get through it instead of bitching about it. If your relationships aren't doing the best you want, choose to be happy and change it if it's not working for you. If you're not liking the career yet, it can be used in every area of your life. It's your choice whether you're happy or not. You're the one in control. And so it's that equation I love to teach, that we teach at our Warrior program. It's not the event that equals the outcome. It's the event plus your response to the event that will equal the outcome.
Wow.
So that's a kind of snapshot of the kind of life I get to have and what I get to work with people on, and the learning I still do. You mentioned it on your call earlier, and thank you for that, because that's a huge thing. Another big clue: if you're not doing as well as you want, you've probably quit learning. I will always be a continuous learner, as you mentioned. Last year alone, in the last year, 26 days as a student in the audience in other people's trainings, learning. Not being the trainer, learning, because I want to keep learning. I'm never going to stop. I'm going to be like Yoda in the back right behind you. Do or not do, because I want to use the Force, baby.
Yep. Yep. And we've covered it multiple times today. We've covered it. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not moving towards something, if you're not staying focused on a vision, then what are you doing? It's almost like you're squandering the gifts that we've been given. We were put here to create, to have an experience, to live life to the fullest, to be happy and spread that happiness, to be of service to other people. And if you're not actively pursuing those, like, what are you doing? It's almost like you're a waste of space, a waste of those talents.
I'm glad you said a waste of space. Another word that starts with SP came to mind that I wasn't going to use. So good. you know who Les Brown is, right?
Yes.
Baby Brown, the baby boy. Les Brown, he's got to be hungry.
Hungry.
I phone him because we're setting up to do an interview like this, and his voicemail comes on a lot because he's a hard guy to get a hold of. Yeah. And he says, remember, you're the 1 in 400 million sperm that won the race. You are special.
Yes.
I'm like, yep, that's Les Brown right there. Baby Brown's baby boy. Gotta love it. Oh, by the way, Chris, this interview is going to be no fun.
No. Okay. Cut the interview, because we're no fun anymore. The show's over. We're done. Dude, I'm so grateful to have this moment, to be sharing this, and to be sharing the experience that you've gone through, because you are an experienced trainer. You have gone to all these different countries and seen the lessons and the cultures, and you've picked up a lot of these clues that people have left behind for you, that people have shared, and you've accumulated them, and you're launching this book coming up, man. Success left a clue. Like, what was it like writing that and putting that together?
Well, oh man, I'll tell you, there's a saying out there that says it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I'll let you know, it takes a village to write a book. It takes a company to write a book. Yes. I originally thought of this 15 years ago, 2002. I actually had the blessing of meeting the one and only Mr. Mark Victor Hansen behind the Chicken Soup for the Soul book phenomenon, him and Jack Canfield. I ended up having the blessing of, at the beginning of my journey as a student, 45 minutes one-on-one just to talk to him. Yeah. And I had an idea for the book. No idea what I was going to put in it, but I thought the title was going to be, if they can do it, I can do it, and so can you. And I had the chance to tell him the title, and he said, I like it. Reminds me of when I was a child. My older brother was riding his bike. My parents wanted me to start learning. They put those training wheels on it, and I'm like, no way. If he can do it, I can do it. He says, but I don't see it as being strong enough to be a book title. He says maybe a chapter title, which then by no coincidence, look at the title of the last chapter. Oh, hey, that's a Cluemoji beside that. What do you think of the Cluemoji, my friend?
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
When's that getting onto Apple and Android phones, man? When's that coming on?
We're going to design a Cluemoji app. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
This is the first time it's ever been out. Is in the book. We just Anyway, so I looked at it instead of getting upset when he said he didn't think it was a good title. Because I just finished doing Warrior as a student, and I knew not to take things personally. So over the last 15 years, the book's gone through a couple different titles. 2008, I took the hiatus and I sat down and decided to get serious and write the book. Yeah. And at that time, it was called 3-2-1 Rich. And we didn't launch it because we were developing an app to launch it through the app. That took time. Last year, I finally went, you know what? Enough. Time to get the freaking book out. Wow. And what's interesting is even though I'd written the manuscript back in 2008, when I went back, I ended up trashing over half the manuscript because in those 8 years since, I became a different person.
Oh, my gosh.
I believed more. So a lot of it I kept in there, but about half of it we redid. And so left to me, the book probably never would have come out. But because I have an amazing wife who's my biggest coach, my greatest supporter, this is, and you know this because of being a coach, this is the importance of having great coaches in your life. Great people to kick your butt. Yes. My business partner, Jason Chechik, a guy is a freaking whiz, without him. So it's been the three of us plus a lot of help with a lot of great friends to put this together. And so writing it was fun. Putting it to what it takes to get it out was a lot of learning. I have a whole new appreciation for people who are authors. Let me clarify, people who are authors who actually put the time in. And this is what I mean, because the saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. Yep. And I don't mean this to bash people, but take a look. Because there are people out there, and I have mentors out there that say, here's the reality. Did you know that most authors that come online today will sell less than 100 copies of their book?
Wow.
If you're half decent, you'll actually sell 500 copies. Now, they don't tell you that statistic. People think I become an author instantly. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to sell a lot of books. No, you're not. It takes freaking hard work. It takes hard work. For the last 2.5 weeks alone, I've been doing things like this every single day. Emails, interviews. Even though I'm training, I'm traveling around the world, I'm still making it work. My team behind me, they're working because we want to blow out thousands of copies. Yes. A friend of mine who released his third book did 43,000 copies in his first week. That's unheard of. Unheard of. Dang. We want to blow it away. Yes. We want to blow it.
Yes.
That's not that I'm competitive or anything, right? No. The reason I get excited about that is because I can tell you the quality of what we put in here. A lot of people are taught just write a book, put something down. Don't worry about it if it's not edited properly, if it's not formatted properly. Just get a book out there. Well, you're putting your name behind something. So if it's crap, you've been putting a crap name out for yourself. Yeah. So take the time, take the care, take the energy. Don't rush it. Do it properly. Don't take 15 years like I did. Don't do it. Don't do it. But
there's a clue.
There's a clue right there. Absolutely. But I believe everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And there's a reason it's coming out now. So, instead of 15 years ago or even 8 years ago. Wow. I'm in the right space right now for it to be what it is. And it took to now to be something that I can say, listen to my words, I may be the author on the damn thing. Yeah. But I'll let you know, it's not me that put the whole thing together. It's me that put the content in, but it's we that made it the reality that it is today, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great mindset for everyone out there to take on, is that it's not just us. And it's really a whole team, the village behind us. And even if we take it kind of to an esoteric level, that it's like a bigger thing than us, God or source creator, if you believe in that kind of thing, if you're spiritual, whatever, like there's something bigger working here and connecting us to people and lining us up with people and the opportunities that come our way. It's not like me. I was the one who built everything. I was the one who built this empire. It's like there was a lot of things that had to go into play, and I think the biggest thing that I practice is gratitude to be grateful for all those things at play that have been lining up for me. And, you being on this show, all the guests that have been on the show up till now, and everything that's coming to me in the future. Like, I'm just so grateful that these opportunities lined up. And I do have some comments, so I think you'll be happy about these ones. Sherry, who was on right before you, said, I just signed up to get Robert's secret free chapter, and he was talking to me from both windows. Robert in stereo. LOL. Can't wait to dig deeper into your book. And your mom is a wise woman. Turmeric casserole and choose to be happy. You're a lucky man. And then,
Sherry, thank you.
Sherry, thank you.
Again. I got goosebumps again, man. Lit. I'm lit.
He's lit. I love that. And then we had Sam Shelley say, he said, yes, it's all about your reaction to life, and I think even better is your response. What's your response to life? Because response is more from a place of choosing, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we have Thomas said, happy birthday. Just caught a glimpse of Robert Riopel's video now, listening to it. And then we have some other people saying happy birthday, and we have people downloading your chapter, man. That's awesome. So I want to give another call to action. If you guys are seeing that link at the bottom, successleftatclue.com/? JV equals CB. Make sure you go visit that, and you will get the secret chapter for Robert's book. And if you're also just tuning in, make sure that you do share this video so that you can get access to win that $50 Amazon gift card. You'll put an entry into the drawing, and we'll announce that winner in a couple hours, about 4 hours from now. So, Robert, what else do we need to know, man?
Well, something just hit me, which is kind of cool. Look at your initials, CB, hence why we created your link that way, right?
Yes.
CB. And think of what you're doing now, because this is about your time, but maybe a little bit before. Think if you're like the truck drivers. How do they communicate through their CB radios?
Yeah.
Man, you are a broadcaster. That CB isn't just your initials. You're a freaking broadcaster. You are getting out to the world. You're putting the word out. I love it.
Yeah.
So I just thought of that. Now, touching on something
people need to know about these awesome resources like you, Robert. It's so imperative that they don't feel like they're alone and they don't have anywhere to turn. You are here to give people the answers on how to be successful and to mentor them and teach them. So that's why I do this.
Thank you. Hey, look, something you just touched on, the gratitude.
Yes.
So as you know, the book originally was going to get launched. Oh, there's my girl, Gracie May, our 245-pound pet pig. She's an amazing young lady. We took the concept of the book and we turned it into an app. Mm-hmm. And I want to show this to you. The version 1, don't go to it, or you can play with it. It's fun, but we're coding version 2. But I want to show you something. When I go into my app, one of the things that's really cool, first thing it does, it takes off one of my dream boards. It pops me one of my dreams. It pops a picture up and say, hey, look, here's where you are.
Right.
And so what I love about this is what you just talked about. We created what's called not just dream boards, but they're called a celebration journal.
Ooh.
And just a couple months ago, I altered the way I do mine, because in your celebration journal, every single day. Now look at this, Chris. I'm going to scroll. Every single day I write down 5 things I'm grateful for or celebrating. And I switched it to not just a celebration journal, but a celebration/gratitude journal. Mm. And our new version is going to have gratitude in there as well. Because we're just knocking things around. Yeah, this is live. You can't do it. I get animated, man. My hands start speaking.
I love it.
Side note, I wear my Fitbit when I'm on stage for a day, 35,000 steps a day usually.
Oh, my gosh.
They go, holy crap. And I go, well, that's a lot of my hand talking too, though. Yeah. So it's not just steps. But anyway, back to what I said, celebration journal. When you celebrate your successes, when you actually take and show gratitude, you're putting out that resonating vibration to the world, to the universe, to say this, what's the other side, flip side of it? My life sucks. Nothing right ever happens for me. And that's exactly what you're going to freaking bring to you if that's what your energy is. So practice gratitude, practice celebration. That's step number 5 in my book. I kind of jumped ahead, but let's go back to step 1. Are you ready to dive into step number 1?
Let's dive in, baby.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get with me, do you, Chris?
I don't. It's awesome. I'm on my toes. I'm like, what's next?
What I promise you is it'll never freaking be boring. Never be boring. And as you can attest, how I am right now, this is how I am on stage.
Yep.
I loved going to Ireland for the first time last week. Yeah. I found my family. Oh my goodness. You know I'm in the right place when on my taxi ride from the airport to the hotel, 45 minutes because of traffic. I got 5 words in. The rest of the time was a taxi driver.
Oh my God.
I learned about his family. I learned about his health. I learned about his friends. The one point, he actually asked me a question. I started answering it, and 2 words in, he goes, "Oh, sorry to interrupt, Robert," and he went right back into him talking. I sat in the back, and I'm going, "This is my brother. This is awesome." So, the people there, friendly, amazing.
Wow.
It was awesome. So clue number 1, or not clue number 1. So step number 1 in the book is dreaming, but not just dreaming, is dreaming the big dream. And here's the difference. So you mentioned it in the intro. As a child, one day I was a truck driver, next day a doctor, next day an astronaut, maybe next day an accountant, next day whatever. Anything and everything was possible. But as you get older, same thing that happened to me is what happens to a lot of other people. You're told, hey, yeah, who are you? You don't have the right education. You don't come from right side trucks, whatever that crap is. And it eventually starts to get beat out of us. Oh, dude. Yeah, you do need a water sponsor. I will talk to Peeps. I heard that. I'll talk to Peeps to get you a water sponsor. I want that over half gone by the time we're done in the next 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
That's my challenge to you. And then you can use the bottle to. Never mind. Anyway, so,
I'll drum it. It'll be the drum, the success drum.
Yeah. Go, Robert. Go, Robert. Go, Robert. It's your birthday. All right, back to where we were at. No fun at all. So when you're dreaming, the key is to start dreaming bigger again. And so allow yourself. I love, the CEO of the company called Success Resources, largest promoting company, personal development promoting company in the world. I'm actually going to see him today after our second interview because he's right here in Singapore. This is their head office. And he said something in LA a month ago when I was down there. He said this. He says, what does it cost you to dream, to think? What does it cost you to think? Nothing. So if it costs you nothing to think and to dream, you might as well think big. You might as well dream big. And I'm like, yes. And so what happens though is people, well, Robert, my dreams don't always come true. Les Brown says this. He says, it's not that we set our dreams too high and we miss them. It's that we set them too low and we hit them. When you set your dreams, because you've been conditioned to set your dreams low and you start hitting them, you believe that's all that's possible. Wow. And one of the clues that I give people is this. And Chris, you ready for a clue?
Yes, I'm ready for a clue.
Okay, hands up like this. Yeah, and it's give us a clue. That's the right voice. Is either you are affecting people with your greatness or you're infecting them with your mediocrity.
Ooh, I'm writing that down. Ooh.
And here's, it's also on the page 6 of the book, just so you know.
Okay.
And here's the problem that most people have. Is that they end up leading that mediocre life. And that, if you ask me, my opinion, one of the biggest issues with this planet right now is way too many people are leading mediocre lives. Not because they don't know better, but you know what? Because they don't know better. They're only able to do what they do. They've been taught to stay mediocre. Dublin and Switzerland, or I was in Sweden a couple weeks earlier, they're conditioned, don't brag, don't boast, don't show, you've got to be the same as everybody else. And that's held their whole society back. Wow. So when I got in front of Sweden, it happened to be right during the playoffs for the World Hockey Championships. And if you've ever seen a country support their hockey team, Sweden. The 2 top countries in the world, Canada and Sweden. Last 2 years, Canada has been the gold medalist. And so on the last night of my event, it happened to be the gold medal game against guess who? Canada and Sweden, right? And so here's how I told it to the audience. I said, how would you celebrate and how would you – give me an example. Show me right now here in the audience. What would it look like if your team just scored a huge goal? That place went absolutely ballistic. Wow. And I said, so why? Don't you think it takes their belief in themselves to get to that level of hockey? And they actually have to own some greatness to get to that level, and you celebrate them at that level? Yet you're telling yourself you can't celebrate yourself at that level? And they got it. And I told her, I said, look, we got the gold medal game tonight. I said, I'm pulling for Sweden. Sweden ended up winning. And they kind of looked at me strange when I said I'm pulling for Sweden, but let me tell you why I did. I said, Canada's already won 2 years in a row. If we win a third year, we get stagnant. We need to be reminded sometimes, everybody needs to be reminded sometimes to step up that game.
Wow.
And so Sweden beat them. So I guarantee you next year, Canada's going to come back even hungrier to get that medal back.
Yes.
And so that's, it's not about competition for the sake of competition. It's about competition for stepping up your game, being bigger, affecting people with your greatness, lifting them. Because if you're playing freaking mediocre, you create mediocre. So when it comes to your dreams, give yourself the permission to start dreaming again. But Robert, what if my dreams don't come true? What will people think of me? Who cares, first of all? But here's the reality. And you tell me if you agree with this, Chris. Yeah. If you set a lot of great big dreams and you share them with people, is it possible not all of them are going to come true?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But guess what? You will be way further ahead, even if you miss 95% of your dreams, than the people that don't set big dreams at all and maybe hit one or two.
Wow.
They maybe hit 100% of what they set as an intention because they've dreamed. So I'd rather go big. So look,
I also want to comment on that real quick, and then we can keep going with your point. If you don't share your dreams, it's almost like you don't. For me, some people say keep your dreams to yourself, keep them protected. I'm saying share it with the world. One, because I believe so much in it that I'm going to tell everyone who I believe will support me in it, and that will attract the support to me, the people who can make a difference. Like Robert with this show, like you get to see what I'm all about, what I'm creating here. You with Success Left a Clue, right? All these people get to see it. You're sharing your dream. I'm sharing my dream. Like we get to share each other's dreams and empower each other. And it's so important that we share that.
Lit!
Yes. Yes.
Lit!
I love it.
That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's it. And being a coach, you and I know this. When you share your dreams as well, it holds you accountable more. Because we know people agree all the time that if we only did what we said we were going to do, we'd be at least twice as successful as we are today.
Yeah.
But it's because we don't share that we hold it in. We be modest. You know what? You can be modest in sharing your freaking dreams. You can. Plain and simple. Look, 15 years ago, I said I was going to write a book. It took me 15 years. But guess what? Now, that dream is coming to reality.
Yes.
It's only us ego people that think we can put a timeline on something. But you set the intention. You put it out there. Let me give you, actually, when it comes to dreams, let me give you 3 very powerful steps to manifesting what you want. Yeah. If you want them, Chris. You want them?
Yes, I want them. Give them. Okay. Give them, brother.
And if your viewers want it, they got to type in that they want it as well.
All right, everybody out there, I'm going to give you a second to type in want it right now. And while you're typing in want it in the comment box, Robert, just want to let you know, Letitia Martinez says, Robert, congrats on your book. You rock. And then Jeff Ginsburg says, hi, Robert, as well. And we have people who are going to be typing in want it right now. By the way, if you're just tuning in, make sure that you do share this video so you can get entered into a chance to win a $50 gift card to Amazon. Let's keep it rolling. I want this, Robert. Let's hear it.
I can't even remember what the hell I was going to say.
The three steps to dreams.
Oh, 3 steps. Thank you. I'm glad someone was paying attention. Okay. See, we're having no fun whatsoever. So when it comes to it, is you set your intention. Think of your intention like a woman having a baby growing inside of her, 9 months as an example. And so people set that intention, and they all of a sudden they birth the intention. They tell people what they want. But what they don't realize is they forget to cut the umbilical cord. That umbilical cord is attachment. It's got to happen this quickly. It's got to look like this. It's got to happen in this way, or it's not what I want. Wow. So step 1 is when you set your intention, let it go. Do not be attached to it. And then you've got to give it space, Chris. Space, because that's the magic of the universe, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, is you give it the space. See, we don't work on the same timeline. Even if you and I live to 150, 200 years of age, we're still a small little blip in the universal timeline.
Little speck.
Right? Yeah, but we think we control the freaking universe. We don't. So we have to allow to have its space to do the magic. And then the third step is you be open to how it comes back to you. Open. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers, as the Garth Brooks song goes. And so as an example, when I was laid off from that third job, I thought my world was over. I thought I was going to be work for this company for 40 years, become my own general manager of my own factory. Picture me working in a factory. Could you picture me being a general manager of a factory?
So small. Well, small.
But it would be the most fun factory out there.
Oh, it would be awesome, yeah.
I don't know if much would get done, but it'd be the most fun factory. But So I thought that's what I wanted to do. So all of a sudden, when the general manager called me into his office, told me that they were shutting the factory down, and I was laid off as of the Friday before, I was not happy. But then today I look at it and I go, you know what? Had he not laid me off, I would not have started driving for Domino's. I would not have become a manager. I would not have become a franchisee. I would not have gone into $150,000 in debt, which led me to personal development, which allowed me to become a trainer, which allows me to travel the world and do what I love now. And today I go, thank you for laying me off, Ron Humpting. Ron Humpting, if this ever gets to you, I hated you. You were an asshole at the time. But today I bless you, my brother, because you led me to where I want to be. And I couldn't see it. But because I'm open now to how it worked, look at where my life has been. And, to kind of point and form. The other reason I'm glad I'm here in Singapore for the 10th anniversary, I had never been out of North America until 10 years ago, 2007, when we did the very first event here in Singapore outside of North America.
Wow. And
now I've traveled around the world several times with my wife. In fact, this event here, I left from Calgary, went to Frankfurt to Dublin back to Frankfurt around to Singapore. Singapore, I'll go to Narita, I'll go home. In a 2-week period, I'll actually fly around the world physically.
Wow.
Physically.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That's epic.
So you got to dream big dreams. If you don't, you're just putting yourself in stagnation. I know one of your speakers coming up, I believe he's coming up still, is going to talk about reality.
Yes, Rob.
And I'll give you my point of form on reality, something I realized about that.
Okay.
Do you want that?
Let's hear it, baby.
Yeah, you have people type in wanted?
All right, everyone, if you're out there listening, you got to type it in. Want it. Again, want it times 2. Want it x2. Because you want it twice as bad, don't you? We want it twice as bad, Robert. Let's type it in to the comment box right now. Want it times 2. Let's hear it.
So I was thinking about this a few months ago. Look at the word reality.
Okay.
Reality. You know the saying that we teach our students, nothing has meaning except for the meaning you give it. And so when I looked at the word reality, because it's like, how many times are we told, be realistic, especially when it comes to our dreams? Be realistic. You've got to live in reality. You're not, that drives me nuts. So all of a sudden, I don't know why in this moment of clarity, I looked at the word reality and break it down to the first 4 letters. What's the first 4 letters of reality?
REAL.
Which spells what?
Real.
That's right. So take the first 4 letters and then you break out I, T, and Y. And what I realized is reality is whatever you decide, Chris, real is to you. That's reality right there.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know what?
And it's whatever I believe and have faith in, that's quote unquote real.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's what your reality becomes, whatever is real is to you when you break that word down. And so for me, my reality is much different than other people. Why? Because do I still limit myself? Yes. Do I still have limiting beliefs? Yes. That's why I have a coach. That's why coaches are so important. That's why mentors are so important. That's why masterminds are so important, because I still have limiting beliefs. But I'll let you know, I have a lot fewer limiting beliefs than a lot of other people, because I look at it and they go, I could never accomplish that. And I go, you know what? That's your reality then, because you said you can't do it. You believe it. You know, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to give it everything I have. I'm going to go for what I want, because I'm going to focus on what I want, not on what I don't want. So when I set my dreams, I end up setting my dreams huge. I set them huge. And, as another Les Brown quote, he says, if you shoot for this moon, at least you'll hit the stars. And so most people don't shoot for the roof in their house and they wonder why they're freaking miserable. Life is too short. And let me ask this question to you, Chris. Do you know people that are miserable in their lives?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Life is way too short to be miserable. You got to have fun.
Yes.
Another big one of my clues. Would you like another clue?
Let's hear another clue.
That's right. If you don't enjoy doing what you're doing, do something else. Ooh. Plain and simple.
Yep.
How many people, when I meet them, I'll ask them, what do you do for a living? They'll tell me. My second question is, do you enjoy doing what you're doing? Blows me away with how many say no. So then my third question is, why the hell do you do it? And the 2 most common answers, I'm good at it or I make a lot of money. Now, Chris, let's be clear. Wrong answer to both. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. If you're working 8, 10, 12 hours a day and you're freaking miserable, is that living? No. But Robert, I can't make money doing what I love. That's a limiting belief.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yep.
Do what you love. Look, and I don't know if it's okay to share with this, but I'm going to share it with you.
Please, yeah.
I love what you said of why you started this show. When you and I talked, well, I was on the drive to see my dad a couple weeks ago, and you said that you started this show because you and your partner were trying to figure out how to create some more cash flow.
Yeah.
And I can tell from watching the little bits I've watched, you have a blast doing this show. Do you know where it's going to go? No, but I guarantee you, because of your passion, which catches my attention and my passion, that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. As Napoleon Hill says, with masterminding, 1 + 1 = 11, baby.
Yep.
And so, you know what? When I sit there and I go, who do I open my Rolodex to? I'm going to open my Rolodex to Chris. I'm going to say, Chris, who do you want on as an interviewee? Dang, I'm going to do whatever I can to help you get them there because I want your show to go global. I want to see hundreds of thousands, millions of viewers watching your show. 12-hour marathon? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Who does that? Only people crazy enough to have freaking dreams.
Yes.
And I support that.
Yes. Thank you. That's
the key. That's the fun, right?
Yeah.
That's the fun. Can you imagine? Oh, lit.
We're lit. We're getting lit.
You imagine, and I want you to mark this date, okay? We're June 15th, 2017. On your 50th episode, I want to be back. I want to be back when you've got like 100,000 viewers on every freaking episode.
Yes.
On your 100th show.
You are.
When you've got 1 million viewers on your show.
Yes.
Oh, but Robert and Chris, what if he only gets to 10,000? Who cares? That's 10 freaking thousand people. Do you have it? I think not. Just saying. Hashtag
just say it. Dude, that's it, man. And what I say is, like, if I'm going to be here in this reality, in this lifetime, why would I set up or buy into anybody's limitations? Why would I do that? I get to create the rules. This is my game. And as long as I'm enjoying myself, making the world a better place, being a service, being love, practicing gratitude, and doing what I can to make myself better every day, then I create the rules. And I'm out.
That's it.
I'm out to make some massive freaking impact and change. So what rules do I need to set up? What are the mindsets that I need to develop to cultivate? And as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing that is impossible. Nothing in this universe. Like, if people want to learn how to float upside down, there's an answer somewhere. There's a solution. People want to learn how to like live forever. There's a solution somewhere. I don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna find it.
Well, Chris, you know what you and I are going to have to do? We're going to have to meet up in Vegas, not for the reason people think, but what you just said. We're going to take one of those plane flights where they go skyrocketing up and then they drop so you experience zero gravity.
Yes.
So we could actually float upside down.
Yeah.
It's already been done, baby. Look, I'm going to give you another clue, and then I'm going to give you step number 2, because step 3, 4, 5, and 6 we'll give on the second interview.
All right.
But I'll give you one more. I'm going to go back to the second title of this book, 3, 2, 1, Rich. And I'm going to tell you what that for me stands for now. Okay. This came from another one of my mentors, someone you know, Mr. Michael Silvers. Going to give a shout out to Mr. Michael Silvers.
Awesome guy.
He says this. He says, if you want success, so he gave me the clue, and I turned it into the 3, 2, 1, Rich. Mm-hmm. If you want success in your life, have 3. Always have 3 coaches in your life. 3 coaches. And now people go, 3 coaches in what areas? Well, A, could be in business. Say you as a business coach. B, you get Sherry on the frickin' line as a coach to help you with the spices in your health. Health. Maybe you have someone for physical fitness. So you have 3 coaches in your life. Plain and simple, over and out. 2, always have 2 mentors. 2 mentors. Now, here's what I struggled with because I didn't know. I always wondered myself, what's the difference between a coach and a mentor? And when I realized it, then I got it. A coach is someone who draws out of you what you want, holds you accountable, shows you how to get it done, keeps you on track. That's a coach. A mentor is someone who's accomplished what you want to accomplish. So like Chris, I mentor people in training. Yes. You want to be a greater trainer, you come to me, and I don't sit there and coach and hold your hand and coddle you. I say, if you want to be a trainer, do this, 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 and this. You do that, you'll get the success. If you don't, you're not. I'm not there to hold the hand. I'm there to say, here's the path that I took, follow it. So I do a very high-end mentoring program where that's exactly what I do. I get responses from my mentees that email back and go, okay, you could have toned down how real you were being, but okay, I got it. I see it. Because I tell them, I'm in Dublin. I've got an assistant trainer and I've got an assistant trainer in training on the stage. Something you've experienced with me.
Yep.
And all weekend long, my assistant trainer in training was so much in his head. And something I won't normally do while I'm in a live training, I stopped on day 3 and I said, stop. I said, look, Michelle, stop, do this, do this. And I got his permission, I got the audience's permission to do some tweaking with him in that moment. Wow. I put him into major perturbation. I pissed him off. I perturbated him. But his growth in that instant was tenfold.
Wow.
Because all of a sudden I identified and he became so clear on something that he was doing that a lot of new trainers do. And I'll give you an example of that, which is they, you know that when you get the response you're looking for, you always say 2 words. What are the words, Chris?
Thank you.
That's right. And that's exactly what he's doing. Thank you. And he looked like that. You remind me of that joke, the wide mouth frog. Remind me, I'll tell you that joke in a moment if we have time. He'd be like, thank you, every single time. And so I finally, to get him to whisper it, because it's got to be subtle. But most trainers are taught to say it, so they go, thank you, and it gets freaking irritating. So you get a response, and you go, thank you. They're getting it subconsciously. So I perturbated the heck out of them. So 2 mentors, and always be part of at least one mastermind. One mastermind. Again, 1 + 1 = 11, as Napoleon Hill said. So 3 coaches, 2 mentors, 1 mastermind. That's 3, 2, 1, rich right there. Now, Chris, you got to tell me, do we have time to get in second step, or do you want to leave that till the
Dude, let's keep the goodies. Let's keep them in suspense. Unless you want to, you can give people a teaser. You can tell them what's to come. No, Robert, he's like, oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna have to come back at 7.
I will give them a teaser. The second step actually comes in 2 parts, because your success is not to do just with you. It's not just about you. It's about the people you can impact. So step number 2 actually dives into a great way that you can give back at the same time.
So we have clues 4, 5, and 6. And
no, steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And I've got a total of like 52 clues, 25 of which are in this book. I've only given you a few clues so far.
Okay, so we've done step 1 and we're covering step 2 right now, or you wanted to cover step 2 right now?
Let's do step 2 at 7. Oh, and you tell me, how's your time looking? I know we
got like 4 minutes. We can do step 2. Let's knock it out.
Step 2, I'm going to give you a little snapshot at the beginning, then we'll dive into the rest of it.
Cool.
Is once you've set your big dreams, and again, dream big, dream the big dream. Cost you nothing to dream, so do it. Yeah. Then, oh my God, dreams. I was watching, and I posted this on my Facebook page at Berkeley University. Someone doing their graduation speech, amazing gentleman, and he said a statement that just knocked me off my chair. He said this, because it answered questions for me. He says, your dreams are not what you have when you go to sleep at night. He says, your dreams are what keep you from sleeping at night.
Wow.
And I was like, no wonder I can't freaking sleep. No wonder I've been laying in bed going, because I have got, with the launch of my book, with everything we're doing, my dreams are coming to reality. And I'm like, no wonder I'm not freaking sleeping.
Yeah.
And it makes much sense, because your dreams are not what they're no wonder we don't remember our dreams when we're sleeping at night, because they're just little videos that go through our head. But the ones that keep you awake, the ones that are really making you, that's your dreams. Okay. Step 2, plain and simple. Once you have your big dreams, you find a mentor or someone to model from. Someone who's accomplished what you want to accomplish. You find them and you do what they've done. That's it. And we'll dive into it deeper when we get in on the next call.
Oh my gosh. Robert, I am having so much fun. Wait, no fun. We're not having fun.
No.
I love this, dude. Thank you so much for coming on here. And I'm holding you accountable to your copywriting that you're going to be getting done within the next 2 hours you got.
And we're going to crank it up. I need to add a second thing that you got to hold me accountable to.
All right.
Because we're putting out a special email for Father's Day, so I want to write the copy for that as well.
Oh, wow. Wow. Just amping it up every time. Just taking it to the next level.
Why not?
I love it.
I got nothing better to do.
Awesome, Robert. Dude, thank you for being on here, and we'll see you back in 2 hours.
Sounds good, my friend. A pleasure.
You're a freaking rock star. And by the way, everyone who's out there, if you are listening, Robert will be back in 2 hours. So make sure you set your alarm clock right now. In fact, why don't you just stay here for the next 3-4 hours? We got 4 hours left of the marathon. Stay here for the rest of the time. Let's do it.
You're there. Why not them? Right?
We're already lit. We're getting lit in here.
Yeah, you know what? Because what I'm going to do while I'm typing out and I'm writing the copy, I'm going to have you on my computer listening because I want to hear your other interviewees. I want to know what's going on.
We're going to rock it, man. We're going to rock it.
Sounds good. All right, my friend.
All right, Robert. We'll see you back in a little bit.
Sounds good.